The great hall of the Galactic Council was filled with nervous energy. 12 different alien species sat in their appointed seats, their eyes focused on the empty human chair. Today was important. Today, they would finally get answers. Ambassador Kate Miller entered the room. She looked calm as she walked to the human seat. Her shoes made soft clicks on the floor. The alien representatives watched her every move. Some had tentacles. Others had scales or fur. All of them looked worried. "Ambassador Miller," said Zex Thera, the lead counselor. His 3 eyes blinked in sequence. "We have called you here for a serious matter." Kate sat down and placed her hands on the table. "I am listening. The Zorthak Empire has attacked your borders 7 times this year," Zex Thera continued. "The Kryn Collective has stolen 3 of your ships. The Vortex clans have raided your colonies. Yet humans do nothing." Other council members shifted in their seats. A Trilaxian counselor spoke up. "Your military is strong. Your ships are fast. Your weapons are advanced. But you never fight back." "We do not understand." Kate smiled slightly. "And what would you like me to say?" "Tell us why humans are afraid," said a Kryn representative. "Tell us why you run instead of fight." The room became quiet. Everyone waited for Kate's response. She looked around at all the different faces. Then she spoke slowly. "I will need 24 hours to prepare my answer." Zex Thera's 3 eyes widened. "You cannot answer now?" "This question requires more than simple words," Kate said. "Give me 1 day. Then I will show you why humans avoid conflict." The council members talked among themselves. Some clicked, others buzzed. Finally, Zex Thera nodded. "Very well. 24 hours. But we expect a full explanation." Kate stood up and left the room. As she walked out, she could hear the aliens discussing among themselves. They were confused. They were frustrated. But most of all, they were curious. On the other side of the galaxy, the human colony ship USS Voyager was receiving reports. Captain John Harris sat in his command chair, reading data on his screen. The bridge was busy but organized. "Captain," said Chief Science Officer Dr. Mary Patterson, "we have new readings from the border sensors. The Zorthak Empire is moving. Ships closer to our space." "How many ships?" John asked. 15 battleships, 25 fighters, and their command carrier." John turned to his tactical officer. "What do you think, Commander Brooks?" Commander Alan Brooks studied his console. "They are in an attack formation. This could be another test of our defenses. Or they are actually planning to attack this time," said Dr. Patterson. John stood up and walked to the main viewport. Outside, stars stretched in all directions. Somewhere out there, alien ships were moving toward human territory. Again. "Sir, what are your orders?" asked Commander Brooks. "We wait," John said. "We watch, we learn." "But sir," said Lieutenant Sarah Johnson from the communications station, if they attack, we will respond, but not with weapons. We need to understand why they keep testing us. What do they want? What do they expect?" Dr. Patterson joined John at the viewport. "You think there is more to this than simple aggression?" "Everything has a reason, Mary. Even acts of war. We need to find out what theirs is." Back in her quarters, Kate Miller sat at her desk. She had reports from dozens of human ships, information about alien movements, details about past conflicts, and a plan that had been developing for years. She opened a secure channel to Earth Command. "This is Ambassador Miller. Operation Looking Glass may need to be revealed sooner than planned," a voice responded from the other end. "Are you sure that is wise, Ambassador? The Council is demanding answers. If we do not give them something, they may support direct action against human space." "Understood. You have full authorization to proceed as you see fit." Kate closed the channel and began working on her presentation. The aliens wanted to know why humans avoided conflict. They thought it was fear. They thought it was weakness. But they were wrong. On the USS Voyager, Captain Harris called a senior staff meeting. His officers gathered in the conference room. The air was tense but professional. We need to prepare for multiple scenarios, John began. The Zorthak attack may happen in hours, days, or weeks. We need to be ready for all possibilities. Should we request more ships from the fleet? Asked Commander Brooks. No. We have enough firepower. But strength is not always measured in weapons. Lieutenant Johnson raised her hand. Captain, our intelligence suggests that the Kryn and Vortex are also mobilizing. This could be a coordinated GU attack. John nodded slowly. 3 species working together against us, that is unusual. They rarely cooperate. Unless they have a common enemy, said Dr. Patterson. Us, or unless someone is pushing them to attack, John added. Sarah, I want you to monitor all communication channels. Look for any signs of outside influence. Yes, sir. Dr. Patterson, work with engineering. I want all non-lethal defensive systems. Ready. Full power to shields and electronic warfare. Understood, Captain. John stood up. Everyone, remember our standing orders. We do not fire first, we do not escalate, we solve problems without creating new ones. His officers left the conference room, each heading to their stations. John remained, looking out at the stars again. Somewhere out there, Kate Miller was preparing to reveal humanity's greatest secret, and here, on the edge of human space, he was about to test whether their philosophy would hold against 3 allied enemies. Time was running out. Questions were being asked. And soon the galaxy would learn why humans avoid conflict. The attack came at exactly the predicted time. 3 hostile fleets emerged from hyperspace simultaneously, targeting 3 different human colonies. In the council chamber, real-time displays showed the developing situation. The attack has begun, Kate announced, though everyone could see the feeds. Watch carefully. Zexthara leaned forward. Will you use your secret weapons now? Watch, Kate repeated simply. On the USS Voyager, Captain Harris stood on the bridge as alarm sounded. The tactical display showed incoming Zorthak battleships. 15. Targets confirmed, Commander Brooks reported. They are firing. Shields up. Do not return fire, John ordered. Dr. Patterson, initiate the electronic countermeasures. Mary's fingers flew over her console. Sending now, Captain. In space, something strange happened. The Zorthak missiles veered off course. Some detonated harmlessly. Others missed their targets completely. The battleships tried to recalibrate, but their targeting systems showed errors. What is happening? The Zorthak captain demanded on his ship. All weapons report targeting malfunctions. His tactical officer looked confused. Sir, our computers identify all targets as friendly vessels. I cannot get a lock on human ships. Meanwhile, other Zorthak ships experienced their own problems. Navigation systems displayed incorrect coordinates. Communication arrays broadcasted conflicting orders. Some ships even began turning toward each other, their systems confused about which vessels were allies and which were enemies. In the council chamber, the alien representatives watched in fascination and growing unease. The Zorthak ships are not firing effectively, observed the Trilaxian counselor. Look at the Kryn attack as well. Kate directed their attention to another display. The Kryn collective had chosen a different target, a human research station. Their approach was more coordinated, using quantum communication to avoid human electronic warfare. But as they closed in, something unexpected happened. The Kryn fleet's internal communication channels filled with data, reports about corruption in their highest levels of government, evidence of leaders stealing resources meant for their military, audio recordings of secret meetings where collective elders discussed sacrificing lower caste Kryn for personal gain. Internal communication breach on all Kryn ships, Lieutenant Johnson reported from the USS Voyager. They are receiving our prepared information package. On the lead Kryn vessel, confusion spread quickly. Junior officers were reading reports they had never seen. The crew began questioning their orders. Some demanded explanations from their commanders. Why are we attacking these humans? One officer broadcast to the entire fleet. Our leaders told us it was for resources, but according to these files, they have been selling our resources to the highest bidder. This information cannot be true. The fleet commander responded, but his voice lacked conviction. It matches reports from 3 different intelligence agencies, another voice added. Our own agencies. The Kryn fleet slowed its advance as internal arguments began. Ships started receiving new orders from different sources, each claiming to be the legitimate command authority. Back in the council, Zexithera asked, "Are you broadcasting false information?" "No," Kate replied. "Everything we are sharing is true. We simply collected it and chose the right moment to distribute it." The third attack came from the Vortex clans. Unlike the other 2, they split into small raiding groups trying to overwhelm human defenses through numbers and speed. On the USS Voyager, Chief Engineer Thompson monitored the situation. "Captain, the Vortex ships are using hit-and-run tactics. Traditional electronic warfare will be less effective." "Then we adapt," John said. "Lieutenant Colonel Rodriguez, deploy the automated defense network." Amy Rodriguez smiled grimly. "Already in motion, sir." In space, something remarkable happened. As Vortex raiders approached human territory, they encountered an invisible web. Not a physical barrier, but a network of sensors and automated systems that tracked every movement. The first raider to cross the boundary found its engines cutting out. The automated systems had overloaded their power regulators without causing permanent damage. The second group discovered their weapons were non-functional. Every trigger press resulted in nothing more than empty clicks. A third group managed to maintain their systems but found themselves surrounded by holographic human ships. Hundreds of decoy vessels appeared, all broadcasting threatening intentions. "Which targets are real?" the Vortex captain shouted. "Fire at everything." But firing at everything meant wasting precious ammunition on holograms, while real human defenses remained untouched. In the council chamber, the display showed something unprecedented. 3 separate military actions against humanity, all unfolding, simultaneously and all failing spectacularly. But not a single human weapon had been fired. "Your forces are responding," the Vortex counselor observed. "But how?" Kate pointed to a new display. "Observe the human response teams." Across all 3 conflict zones, human ships were deploying. But they were not warships. They were medical vessels, repair ships, and emergency response craft. "You are sending aid to your attackers?" Zexithera asked in disbelief. "We are sending aid to those who need it," Kate clarified. "Look at the Zorthak fleet." Several Zorthak ships had collided due to their navigation failures. Human medical ships were already approaching, offering assistance. On other channels, human negotiators were requesting permission to help evacuate wounded. In the Kryn attack zone, the internal conflict had led to an accidental weapons discharge. A Kryn frigate had damaged its own command ship. Human vessels moved in, deploying emergency medical teams and technical support. The Vortex raiders, stranded and outnumbered by holographic forces, were receiving offers of fuel and safe passage. Home if they would simply cease hostilities. Captain Harris observed all of this from the USS Voyager. "Dr. Patterson, what are the casualty numbers across all theaters?" "Remarkably low, sir. Mostly minor injuries from system failures and collision alerts. No deaths reported." "Keep it that way. Lieutenant Johnson, send a general broadcast to all attacking forces." "Channel open, sir." John spoke with measured calm. "This is Captain Harris of the USS Voyager, to all vessels in the conflict zone. Humans have no desire for your destruction. Our defensive measures have proven adequate without loss of life. We offer immediate humanitarian assistance and safe withdrawal to all parties. Your choice." In the council chamber, the representatives sat in stunned silence. They diffused 3 military attacks without firing a shot. The Trilaxian counselor whispered, "And they are helping the attackers," added the Kryn representative, his voice full of confusion. "Why?" demanded the Zorthak counselor. "Why help us after we tried to destroy you?" Kate stood and faced the council. "Because this is what humans learned from centuries of war. Enemies today can become allies tomorrow. Destruction creates cycles of revenge. But mercy creates possibilities for peace." She pointed to the displays. "Watch what happens next." On the battlefield, Human offers of assistance were initially met with suspicion. But as systems failed and situations became dangerous, practical needs overcame pride. The first Zorthak ship to accept human aid set a precedent. Human medics boarded, treated wounded, and helped restore basic systems. No weapons were seized. No prisoners were taken. No demands were made. Soon, other ships from all three fleets were accepting help. Human engineers worked alongside alien crews. Human medical teams treated all injuries equally. Human negotiators offered fair terms for cessation of hostilities. The council chamber, Zexathara finally spoke. You have shown us something unprecedented, but I sense this is not the full extent of your capabilities. Kate nodded slowly. What you have seen today is our preferred method of conflict resolution. Non-lethal, solution-oriented, ultimately constructive. But yes, we have other options if these prove insufficient. Show us, Zexathara demanded. Kate hesitated. What, you ask for, could change the balance of power in the galaxy? Once known, it cannot be unknown. We have seen enough to understand that humans are not what we thought, the Trilaxian counselor said. We need to know everything. Kate Miller looked around the room one final time. The decision would affect every species present. The galaxy was about to learn humanity's ultimate secret. Very well, she said, reaching for her device again. But remember, with great knowledge comes great responsibility. The council chamber darkened once more, ready for the final revelation. 24 hours passed quickly. Kate Miller returned to the council chamber with a small device in her hand. The alien representatives were already seated, waiting. Their eyes followed her as she walked to the human chair. Ambassador Miller, Zexathara said, you have had your time. Now we need answers. Kate smiled and placed the device on the table. I will show you why humans avoid conflict. But first, let me ask you a question. What is the purpose of war? The Kryn representative spoke first. To defeat enemies, to take resources, to show strength. To survive, added the Trilaxian counselor, to protect what is ours. Kate nodded. All true. But let me show you something. She activated the device. A holographic display appeared above the table. Images began to play. This is Earth, Kate began. Our homeworld. For thousands of years we fought wars, big wars, small wars. Wars over land, resources, religion, pride. We became very good at fighting. The display showed ancient battles, then modern warfare, explosions, destroyed cities, and countless casualties. The aliens watched with interest. We learned something, Kate continued. War is expensive, not just in money, in lives, in trust, in the future we leave for our children. The display changed to show economic charts and statistics. Every war costs us decades of progress. Every conflict creates new enemies. Every victory brings temporary peace but long-term problems. But you are strong, said the Zorthak representative. Your technology is advanced. You could win easily. Winning a battle is different from winning a war, Kate explained. And winning a war is different from winning peace. Let me show you our approach. The display shifted to recent events. 6 months ago, the Zorthak attacked our mining station on Proxima 7. The Zorthak representative straightened in his seat. You ran away. Did we? Kate smiled. Watch closely. The display showed what really happened. We evacuated the station. No casualties. Then we cut off all trade routes to Zorthak space. Your economy dropped 15% in 2 weeks. The Zorthak representative's face changed color. But that was not enough, Kate continued. We shared information with your traditional enemies. Suddenly you had 3 new border disputes to manage. Your military was spread too thin to maintain pressure on human space. The display showed maps of Zorthak space. Ships moving to defend multiple borders. Trade ships being turned away from ports. You forced us to withdraw, Kate said, without firing a single shot. The cost of attacking us became too high. She turned to the Kryn representative. Your collective sent infiltrators to steal our technology. 3 successful thefts this year. You did nothing, the Kryn counselor said with pride. Watch the dates carefully, Kate replied. The display showed timelines and documents. After each theft, we released information about Kryn leadership corruption to your own citizens. Public protests began. Your government had to spend resources maintaining internal stability instead of external aggression. The Kryn representative shifted uncomfortably. And the Vortex clans, Kate said, turning to that section of the council. Your raiders have been very busy. We take what the strong should take, the Vortex counselor growled. At what cost? Kate asked. The display showed economic data again. We placed early warning sensors throughout the border regions. Your raids now require 3 times as many ships for the same results. Most of your raiders return with barely enough fuel to get home. She paused and looked around the room. We made raiding too expensive to continue. Your clans started fighting each other over the few successful raids instead of working together. The council chamber was quiet. Each species was realizing how their actions had been countered without traditional warfare. Meanwhile, on the USS Voyager, Captain Harris was implementing the same strategies on a smaller scale. Lieutenant Sarah Johnson reported from her communication station. Captain, the Zorthak fleet is holding position at the border. No attack orders detected. Keep monitoring, John replied. Dr. Patterson, what do our sensors show? Interesting pattern, sir. The Zorthak ships appear to be running low-level scans on our defenses. They are learning our capabilities without engaging. Commander Brooks looked up from tactical. Should we respond? Yes, but not how they expect, John said. Sarah, open a general broadcast channel. Channel open, sir, John spoke clearly. This is Captain Harris of the USS Voyager. To all ships in the area, we are running a scheduled maintenance cycle on our primary weapons systems. Defense shields are operating at minimum power. Traffic through this sector is welcome. Brooks looked confused. Sir, are you advertising our weaknesses? John smiled. I am telling them exactly what they want to hear. Now watch. On the alien ships, commanders were surprised. The humans were vulnerable. This was a perfect time to attack. But something felt wrong. Why would humans announce weakness? Sir, Lieutenant Johnson reported. The Zorthak fleet is changing formation. They are withdrawing? Why? Dr. Patterson asked. Chief Engineer Mike Thompson joined the conversation. Because we just told them we are weak. No military commander announces weakness unless it is a trap. They do not trust what seems too easy. John nodded. Psychology, people. Understanding how others think is as important as weapons or shields. Back in the council, Kate continued her presentation. Humans learned that conflict has patterns. We study those patterns, we understand motivations, we predict responses. You manipulate us, Zexthara said. We influence outcomes, Kate corrected. Manipulation implies deception. We are completely honest about our intentions. We want peace, we want trade, we want cooperation, but we will not be passive victims. The display showed diplomatic channels and trade agreements. For every conflict, we offer alternatives, better deals, mutual benefits, shared goals. We make cooperation more attractive than war. But what if your alternatives are rejected? Asked the Trilaxian counselor. What if someone truly wants war? Kate's expression became serious. Then we have other options, but we save those for when all else fails. Because once certain weapons are used, there is no going back. You threaten us? The Kryn representative demanded. No, Kate said simply. I promise you. The reason humans avoid conflict is not fear. It is responsibility. We know what we are capable of. We know the consequences. So we choose better paths when possible. She closed her presentation. Questions? The council chamber was full of confused and thoughtful aliens. They had expected to find weakness. Instead, they discovered a different kind of strength, one that changed entire situations without traditional warfare. Zexthara spoke first. You have given us much to consider, but I sense you have not shown us everything. Kate nodded slowly. There are levels to any strategy. What you see depends on how deeply you look. Show us more, Zexathera demanded. Kate looked around the room. Each species was waiting for her answer. The moment of decision had arrived. Kate Miller looked at the council members. Each alien face showed curiosity mixed with concern. She knew this moment would define humanity's relationship with the galaxy. Her finger hovered over her device. "Very well," she said. "You want to see more? Then understand this. What I'm about to show you must remain confidential. If this information spreads to the wrong hands, it could destabilize the entire galaxy." Zexathera's 3 eyes blinked in sequence. "We accept this responsibility. Show us." Kate pressed a button. The room darkened. New holograms appeared, showing military installations humans had kept hidden. You asked why humans maintain such a large military but never use it. This is why. The display showed automated factories hidden in asteroid fields. Ships were being constructed at incredible speed. But these were not normal ships. "Project Looking Glass," Kate announced, "our deterrent system. These facilities can produce an entire fleet in 3 months. Each ship is equipped with technology we hope never to use." The aliens leaned forward, studying the images. Weapons, unlike anything they had seen, were being attached to sleek vessels. "What kind of weapons?" asked the Trilaxian counselor. Kate hesitated. "Ones that can tear apart space itself, others that can rewrite the programming of any electronic system, and some that affect minds directly." The council chamber went completely silent. "But why build such things if you avoid conflict?" the Kryn representative demanded. "Because peace requires strength," Kate replied. "If you can destroy everything, but choose not to, that is power. If you cannot destroy anything and do not fight, that is weakness." She changed the display. "But there is more. Watch this." The holograms showed complex networks spanning the galaxy. Information, money, and resources flowing between systems in intricate patterns. "Our psychological warfare division," Kate continued, "we have studied every known species. Your cultures, your weaknesses, your breaking points. We know exactly how to destroy a civilization without firing a shot." The Zorthak representative shifted nervously. "You spy on all of us?" "We understand." "You," Kate corrected. "Knowledge is the greatest weapon, and the safest. You cannot invade a country, but you can change how its people think." On the USS Voyager, Captain Harris was dealing with the practical application of these theories. His crew had spent hours preparing for what they called Operation Invisible Hand. "Dr. Patterson," John said, "are the cyber warfare protocols ready?" Mary looked up from her console. "Ready, Captain. We can access the primary systems of all 3 hostile fleets simultaneously." "Commander Brooks, what about our non-kinetic weapons?" Allen checked his displays. "All electronic warfare systems are charged. We can scramble their communications, disrupt their navigation, and override their targeting computers." Lieutenant Colonel Amy Rodriguez, the ship's Special Operations Commander, joined the conversation. "My team has infiltrated their command structures digitally. We can simulate system failures, create false orders, or even make their ships think they are firing on allies." John nodded approvingly. "Remember, our goal is not to defeat them. Our goal is to make them defeat themselves," Chief Engineer Thompson added. "Sir, we have also prepared humanitarian systems. Medical bays expanded, emergency supplies ready, docking facilities cleared for potential refugees." "Refugees?" Lieutenant Johnson looked confused. "When this operation begins," John explained, "there will be casualties on all sides. Confusion creates danger. We will be ready to help anyone who needs it." Back in the council, Kate's presentation continued. The aliens were seeing layers of human strategy they never imagined existed. "Your weapons can destroy minds?" the Vortex counselor asked with growing respect and fear. "Not destroy," Kate clarified. "Influence, change, redirect. We can make aggressors question their own motives. We can help peaceful species become stronger. We can encourage cooperation where there was once only competition." The display showed case studies. conflicts that had been resolved through subtle manipulation of information and resources, problems solved before they became wars. You play God with other species, Zexthara observed. We play gardener, Kate responded. We try to create conditions where good things grow and harmful things cannot take root. Sometimes that requires cutting away diseased parts. And if your garden needs more extreme measures? The Trilaxian, Counselor asked. Kate's expression darkened. Then we have those tools as well. Weapons that can sterilize entire worlds. Systems that can collapse star systems. Technologies that can erase species from existence. The room became heavy with tension. But we have never used them, Kate continued quickly. And we hope we never will. They exist only as a last resort. To prevent universal destruction, we maintain the capability for it. Why tell us this? The Kryn representative asked. Why? Reveal your secrets? Because secrets create fear, Kate replied, and fear leads to poor decisions. We want you to understand our position completely. We avoid conflict because we know its true cost. We maintain strength because strength preserves peace. She paused, looking at each council member. And because, soon you may see some of these capabilities in action. What do you mean? Zexthara demanded. Our intelligence suggests the coordinated attacks on human space are not random. Someone is pushing multiple species toward war with humanity. Tomorrow, we will demonstrate why that is a mistake. The council erupted in confused chittering, clicking, and growling. A demonstration? The Vortex Counselor roared. You dare threaten the council? Not at all, Kate said calmly. The hostile fleets massing at our borders will attack within hours. When they do, you will see exactly why humans avoid direct combat, and why we are prepared for it anyway. Zexthara raised his primary hand for silence. Ambassador Miller, are you saying human ships will respond with the weapons you have shown us? No. Kate smiled. I am saying you will see conflict resolution on a scale never before attempted. Watch carefully, learn, and then we can discuss true peace. On the USS Voyager, proximity alarms began to sound. The Zorthak fleet was moving. The Kryn ships were powering weapons. The Vortex raiders were accelerating toward human space. All hands prepare for defensive operations, Captain Harris announced. Remember our mission. We solve this conflict without creating new enemies. We demonstrate strength through restraint, and we save lives, even our attackers. Lieutenant Johnson looked at her captain with newfound understanding. Sir, are we about to show them why humans avoid conflict? John smiled grimly. No, Lieutenant. We are about to show them what happens when we cannot avoid it anymore. The stage was set. 3 hostile fleets approaching human space. The Galactic Council watching from their distant chambers. And humanity, ready to reveal why their quest for peace required such tremendous preparation for war. The demonstration was about to begin. The council chamber fell into complete darkness. Then slowly a new display materialized. Not holograms this time, but something more profound. A direct neural link to human strategic command. What you are about to experience, Kate began, is not just information. It is understanding. You will see conflict as humans see it. Suddenly, the council members found themselves viewing the galaxy from human perspective. Each alien mind was filled with centuries of human military knowledge. They saw World War I's trenches, World War II's destruction, nuclear weapons potential and beyond, into scenarios of galactic warfare. This is what humans understand about war. Kate's voice echoed in their minds. Every weapon creates a counterweapon. Every conflict plants seeds for future conflicts. Every victory contains the possibility of ultimate defeat. The vision shifted. They saw human military assets they hadn't imagined, weapons that could destabilize stars, nanite, clouds that could consume entire fleets, temporal devices that could erase events from the timeline. These weapons exist, Kate continued. They are tested, proven, and ready. But they remain unused, because using them would change everything. Zexathara's three eyes widened as understanding flooded his mind. You could destroy us all. Any of us. All of us. Or save us all, Kate replied. That is the choice we make every day. On the USS Voyager, Captain Harris received confirmation that the immediate conflicts were resolved. All hostile forces had accepted human assistance and were beginning withdrawal, but his mission was not complete. Lieutenant Rodriguez, he said, initiate the final phase. Amy Rodriguez checked her console. Deploying peace initiative protocols, sir. Across the conflict zones, human ships began broadcasting detailed proposals, mutual aid treaties, resource sharing agreements, technology exchange programs, educational partnerships. Sir, Dr. Patterson reported, all three species are receiving our offers. Initial responses are positive. Commander Brooks looked surprised. They are actually considering cooperation after attacking us? People make decisions based on their circumstances, Commander, John explained. We just changed their circumstances. Now they see cooperation as more beneficial than conflict. In the council chamber, the neural link continued to share human philosophy. The aliens experienced humanity's greatest revelation. That true power was not the ability to destroy, but the wisdom to choose not to. We have the power of gods, Kate said. But we choose to act as gardeners. We cultivate growth, prune problems, and create conditions for life to flourish. The Kryn representative spoke, his voice filled with newfound understanding. Your military serves not to wage war, but to prevent it. Exactly, Kate confirmed. Every ship, every weapon, every strategic system, all designed with one purpose: to make conflict too costly, too difficult, and ultimately too unnecessary to pursue. The display changed once more. They saw human ships across the galaxy, not just military vessels, but construction ships, medical craft, research vessels, and diplomatic transports. Our military budget, Kate explained, is actually our peace budget. 70% goes to nonviolent conflict resolution, preparation for humanitarian missions, development of technologies that benefit all species. The Vortex counselor growled, but with respect rather than anger. You prepare for war to avoid war. We prepare for everything, Kate corrected, to choose nothing harmful. The neural link faded, leaving the council members sitting in normal light again. Each was processing what they had experienced. There is one more thing, Kate said. The attacks today were orchestrated. Someone wanted to provoke war between humans and multiple species. Zexathara straightened. What do you mean? Our intelligence indicates a shadow faction working to destabilize the galaxy. They hoped human retaliation would start a chain reaction of conflicts. They did not understand human philosophy. She activated her device one final time. We traced the coordination signals, the puppet master behind today's attacks. The display showed intercepts and data trails leading to a member species of the Council itself. Not one of the attackers, but a previously neutral party. The Council erupted in shocked exclamations. The investigation continues, Kate said. But we share this information openly, because transparency prevents conspiracy. Captain Harris, still on the USS Voyager, received new orders. Lieutenant Johnson, open a channel to all species involved in today's conflict. Channel open, sir. This is Captain Harris. In recognition of today's peaceful resolution, Earth Command extends an invitation to all species. Join us in establishing the Galactic Peace Preservation Initiative. Learn our conflict resolution methods. Share your own wisdom. Together we can make war obsolete. The responses came quickly. One by one, ships from each formerly hostile fleet accepted the invitation. Back in the Council, Kate addressed the assembly. Humans avoid conflict because we understand its true nature. We prepare for war because preparation prevents it. We choose nonviolence because we know violence's cost. Zexathara stood, his three eyes focused on Kate. Ambassador Miller, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I formally apologize to humanity. We misunderstood your strength as weakness. We failed to see wisdom in your restraint. Other council members rose to their feet. One by one, they voiced similar acknowledgments. Humans have shown us a new path, the Trilaxian counselor declared. "We request your guidance in establishing galaxy-wide peace initiatives." Kate smiled warmly. "We accept. But understand, this is not human dominion over others. This is partnership. Each species brings wisdom to this endeavor." The Kryn representative spoke up. "What about the shadow faction you mentioned? Those who tried to manipulate us into war?" "They will face justice through proper channels," Kate assured them. "But more importantly, they have failed. Their goal was to fracture the galaxy through war. Instead, we are more united than ever." From across the chamber, a communication device chimed. Kate answered it, listened briefly, and then smiled. "I have good news. Captain Harris reports that all 3 former hostile fleets have agreed to joint training exercises. Zorthak, Kryn, and Vortex forces will work alongside human ships to develop new peacekeeping protocols." The chamber buzzed with excited conversation. Species that had been enemies hours before were now planning cooperation. 3 months later, on a neutral world at the edge of civilized space, construction crews from a dozen species worked together. The massive project was visible from orbit, a monument to the new era of peace. Captain John Harris stood beside Ambassador Kate Miller, watching the final pieces being put into place. "You know," John said, "when this started, I wasn't sure our philosophy would hold. 3 fleets attacking simultaneously. It held because it was tested in smaller ways first," Kate replied. "Every choice we made, every conflict we resolved without violence, built toward this moment." Dr. Mary Patterson joined them, holding a datapad. "The finishing touches are complete. The monument's quantum message system is active. Any species in the galaxy can now access our conflict resolution databases. And the best part," added Commander Alan Brooks, approaching with Lieutenant Sarah Johnson, "is that we're not just sharing our methods, we're learning from others too. The Trilaxian meditation techniques for diplomatic stress, the Kryn consensus building protocols, even the Vortex honor codes for fair resource distribution." A delegation from the former hostile species approached. The Zorthak, Kryn, and Vortex representatives had become regular visitors to human vessels and bases. "The ceremony is ready," the Zorthak delegate announced. "All species have sent representatives." The monument stood tall and elegant, made from materials contributed by every member of the Galactic Council. It reached toward the sky like a beacon. At its base, an inscription caught the light of 3 different suns. Kate read it aloud as the gathering assembled. "In memory of war, may it never return. In celebration of peace, may it always endure. Built by many species, maintained by all, this monument stands as proof that our differences strengthen rather than divide us." As the dedication ceremony began, ships from across the galaxy filled the sky. Former enemies stood together as equals. New friendships formed between species that had never met before. Captain Harris watched it all with satisfaction. "You know what I realized, Ambassador? All those years humans spent avoiding conflict, we weren't running from something. We were building toward this." Kate nodded. "The greatest victory is the one where no one has to lose. The strongest weapon is the one that never needs to be fired. And the wisest warrior is the one who transforms enemies into friends." In the distance, the USS Voyager sat alongside ships from dozens of species. Crews worked together, sharing meals, exchanging stories, and planning joint missions of exploration and discovery. The galaxy was changing, not through conquest or domination, but through understanding and mutual benefit. And at the heart of it all was a simple human truth. The best way to win a war is to prevent it from happening in the first place. As the ceremony concluded and celebrations began, one thought echoed in the minds of all present. This was just the beginning. The age of galactic warfare was ending. The age of galactic cooperation had begun, and it had all started with a simple question: why do humans avoid conflict?